This podcast episode was brought to you by VP.net, the only VPN that can't spy on you. Is the US becoming another version of China? Is a takeover, the deep state takeover of the youth now complete? And some alternate theories on the murder of Charlie Kirk. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the Matt Kim Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kim, joined by my co-host, Mr. Peter Seddington.
What's up? Welcome all of you SARs out there. Smash the like button, check in. My heart goes out to you. We are the youth of the nation. Is that what PODs?
We are.
The youth of the nation. Okay, is that what's changing, Matt? The youth of the nation, are they changing?
Well, it's a lot of stuff going on. Can I get a little more volume? It's been a lot of stuff going on. And I want to start just off of one thing that it's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Okay. More crazy than, necks exploding and stuff like this?
The text messages they produced? Bro, check in, SAR. Oh, let us know, obviously, what you think.
Oh, my God. I didn't even want to add. I was going to tweet about it, but I was like, dude, this is too retard central. Like,
Can you find it, Will, and read some of it for us? Because that'd be hilarious if Will reads it.
Who conjured this? This isn't even like AOL chat from 1995. This is like full punctuation, full good grammar, like, I love you, sir. Like, I mean, it was...
He said, I got rid of all the evidence, but I'm going to leave all the evidence and the admission on exactly what happened in this text message.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, can you delete this now?
Hey, wait. Before I forget, can you please delete my browser history before I go? Like, please, sir. Like, I imagine, Matt, some 69 boomer sitting in a dungeon of the CIA saying, how do I type this shit out without sounding gay?
I mean, what is this text message thread? Because there's surprisingly, there's still a minority of this country going, oh yeah, that makes sense. That looks legit. Which is wild. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that?
I do not believe you, sir. That cannot be. There's not a single human on the face of this planet that looks down at their text messages and says, yeah, I text exactly like that. I use full punctuation and full commas and full conjugation while I do it.
When I'm 22.
Exactly. Because, grammar school did me so good. There
were some people in the comment section that were like, oh, see, he totally did it. They were like, oh, it was weird.
Nobody talks like this.
Nobody.
You don't even want to see the raunchy ass shit that I talk to my wife about. Oh my Lord, man, that would get me canceled for sure.
It's wild. I don't know what they were thinking to put it out there. I mean, it's obvious. They put out this text message thread. They expect majority of the population not ever actually read it. They take those words exactly. They clip them into headlines. And then people scroll the headlines.
And they're like, yeah.
And then you move the public opinion and the narrative, and you propagandize the public.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. If this was not, let's just say, larger than just some fringe radical trans dude, why would they want to cover it up? That doesn't make any... I mean, if this is what they say, let's put it together. Some trans, MAGA, conservative, right... has a boyfriend, MAGA, red hat, MAGA, trans, angry. Why would they need to make up anything around this? Well, it seems pretty cut and dry, don't you think?
Well, this leads into this new fringe theory that I ran into.
Talk to me about this new fringe theory, Matt.
I got an email yesterday.
Oh, well.
From someone I believe that watches and listens to the show.
We'll check in, sir.
And it was wild. But basically, the premise of the email was, do you remember the Iryna stabbing?
Yeah.
And the Iryna stabbing, and the whole country was thinking about that.
Yes.
They tried to cover it up. They didn't want people to see it. And it was spreading faster than any video had ever spread.
Can I cut in for just a second?
Yes.
I have a colleague of mine who bought a gun this week. I can show you the text message. He bought it because of Iryna.
Yeah.
He lives in, let's just say, the southeast region. And I could, and And you don't want to make any assumptions like, why did you buy it? But he literally just freely stated, I bought this because it's just not safe in my area of town anymore. And I'm like, bro, first time, welcome to the show. First time, like, okay, people are actually changing their lifestyles because of what happened to Iryna.
Correct. And the theory that he proposed was that was actually organic. That
not a crisis actor?
Not a crisis actor. That they did not plan for that to happen. And it created such an uproar. It was uncontrollable. It was spreading so fast.
Yeah.
They were not ready for this. And the solution, the deep state solution theory, was that they just had to take someone out and shift the narrative.
Are you serious?
That it was not him, Charlie, specifically. It was that it was the most opportune person at the opportune time in a public situation, because how else do you shift the narrative from, hey, look at what's going on here, everyone freak out, to something different?
Something that we can control.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me amalgamate, because this is what I do. What you're saying, Matt, is that the Matrix, let's say Palantir, some business analyst in Palantir in a dungeon said, wah, 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 this Iryna thing is outside of our control.
Yes. It's
spreading like wildfire. White people are waking up. They're realizing there's this per capita thing that black people clearly can't figure out. And they're starting to get riled up. They're starting to get rowdy. They're starting to take action. Uh-oh. Peter Thiel, I see the dashboard's telling me that something that we can't control that happened in the Matrix, we need to do something about it, is what you're saying.
Yes. It is becoming uncontrollable. People are getting pissed off. It is not controlled chaos. It is organic chaos. We don't need that in our
Matrix.
It doesn't serve our purpose and our interest at this moment. How do we shift the narrative?
So you're telling me that the random stabbing of an innocent white girl is going to be negated by the shooting of a white boy? How is this reducing the conflagration of white people getting really upset?
I don't think it's about white people getting upset. It's about how the reaction was. This can be politicized. This can be manipulated. This can be moved around. The Iryna thing, that was completely out of everyone's control.
You can't control the white people with Iryna. However, you can control the white people and the conservatives with Kirk.
Correct. And again, Kirk specifically. It just happens to be that he was doing a public talk at that time, and because this was all literally the day leading into the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
Do you think
who else is available at night? Well, Charlie's going up on stage. Okay, that's a guy.
And Palantir is telling us his analytics are.
Yeah, we have to make a quick decision. We need to fix this immediately. What can we do? All right, which is why the whole thing is so sloppy. Which is why it seems really haphazard.
But they're still going to get away with it.
I mean, that's why
Kash Patel going on TV is making it worse.
That's why they make sure that they corrupt the jury pool. They give them a public defender. They put out these text messages. They put out the evidence. I mean, this kid's never going to get a fair trial, by the way. Of course.
It's a shit show.
Obvious.
It's a shit show already.
They put him out in this suicide vest. Every time you see him, he's wearing the suicide vest now, because obviously, they're going to say he unalived himself eventually.
Or people want to kill him. Fair enough. So,
interesting theory.
It's an interesting theory, but my issue with that theory is you're giving Palantir, and I'm just saying Palantir as some object that we can latch onto here as the all-seeing eye, Big Brother, right?
Yeah, Palantir, Deep State, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. This asserts that they have that much power to move this quickly. That you are asserting that they have that much surveillance apparatus, that they can amalgamate and conglomerate and congeal all this data so quickly that they can look at the world in mass and say, this Iryna thing is going out of control.
You did not need metrics or a dashboard to realize that this Iryna thing was going out of control.
I just gave you a proof positive example of a person I know who bought their first firearm because of Iryna.
There was nothing they can do to reel that in.
It's already
happened.
Spreading
everywhere.
People are buying firearms.
The left, the right, everyone was going crazy over this thing. And then all of a sudden, just like that, narrative shift.
It was quite abrupt. Even you and I talked about this in our podcast because we thought we were hot to trot talking about Iryna like the day after, and then as we hit publish, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, and we're like, and
God.
then even in the chat, everyone's like, we just want to talk about Charlie.
Yeah, why are you even talking about this right now? This is more important.
Not wrong. We witnessed it live.
It literally happened because we
And
scheduled
our entire comments on that video is all about Iryna.
Yeah.
Sorry, about Charlie.
We scheduled that podcast episode, which we recorded before the shooting, to go live at a certain time.
And it went live like an hour after the shooting.
And it went live, and people were like, dude, what are you guys talking about this for?
I know. We were day late, $1 short.
People were mad at us for talking about
I know.
something that just happened. And what everyone in the country was talking about. Isn't it interesting how quickly we shifted away from that?
It was
And
abrupt.
we were kind of dismissive of the Iryna stabbing to begin with. I was, at least.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, that disappeared really fast.
Well,
that never happens organically.
I
It was
think
scrubbed.
so. The other thing that works against this whole like narrative shift from Iryna to Charlie Kirk, in my mind, is number one. You're not wrong. You don't need a dashboard to see the sentiment. The sentiment was large. Like people were like, I'm awake now. Both left and right.
Yeah.
And not only that, we saw from the left all the responses of people saying, yeah, a white girl got stabbed, boo-hoo, da-da-da. It's like, whoa, you're showing your true colors. Then we see Charlie Kirk and the narrative shift. Like, it was so drastic. It was so abrupt. It was almost violent, the way that we shifted from Iryna to Charlie. There was no downtime. It was almost like move from one trauma and absorb the new trauma from the old trauma so you don't worry about the old trauma, Iryna. And now the new trauma, Charlie, is all you think about.
Yeah. Oh, it's because of they were going after his free speech and they didn't like his ideas. But fair, fine. But people don't. This country has shown that they are not willing to fight for their free speech.
Brother.
They are not willing to fight for political ideology. What they will fight for is like a random black guy. And not only that, it's not only who killed her, but the video of all those people in that train sitting there watching it happen and doing nothing.
There was a lot of memes of, let's just say, replacing all of the 5 black people watching and going.
And that entire narrative has completely disappeared.
So-
the inaction of people.
So let me ask
removed
you
it.
this. Oof. I'm going to go a little bit meta here because you extracted me out of this a little bit. Are you saying that the Matrix, the Palantir, they can control political narratives with Charlie, but they cannot control racial narratives because racial narratives are outside of the Israeli system? Does that make sense?
They can control it if it's orchestrated.
If it's racially
planned.
political.
Correct.
But if it's just racial,
if it's just completely organic,
just violence.
and the media for 2 weeks tried to suppress this video, everyone tried to get rid of it, there's nothing they could do to reel that in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, biggest video ever.
And let's also appreciate the timing. Before that video went viral, that was like a 3 weeks old news.
Yeah.
So it was not going away. The Matrix was not able to shuffle it under the carpet. So the second thing, and I needed to get to this, the second thing that works against this whole narrative shift, and number one, we're saying Palantir has all this power and they can shift narratives. Well, okay, fine. The second thing that works against this narrative shift is all of the, the gematria, all the numerology. Like, I went down this rabbit hole with Charlie Kirk and all the numerology of when he died, what time he died, 33 to be precise.
33, everything 33.
Right, like the numerology seems like this was, let's just say, well timed within the masters of the game.
But they understand the impact and importance of the number 33. They understand the numerology. So is it possible that they're just doing it, again, to continue to shift people into that narrative, to keep people engaged in that story?
I feel like the cracks in the Matrix are different cracks. I think what people are waking up to now with Iryna and Charlie Kirk is a crack in the matrix of, oh shit, this red versus blue, the blue are actually worse than I thought, which is what people are realizing. They're celebrating all this death. That's one version of the crack in the matrix. I think the crack in the matrix that you and I are talking about is that the sinew, the actual threads, the actual back end of this matrix is beginning to crack, because it seems like this Iryna is an example of where the matrix can't control things as well as they thought. And thanks to social being so ubiquitous and so out there, and everyone has a cell phone, they cannot control that which they want to control anymore. And it seems like the matrix is weakening when it's also cracking at the same time.
Because isn't it interesting that after they realize, theoretically, that they cannot control what goes viral, because they could not figure out how to reel in this Iryna video?
Yeah, they couldn't.
That now we have a new deal for TikTok.
I heard about this.
All of a sudden, it's like, hey, let's work out this TikTok deal. It's like actually really important right now. We lost control of content. We lost control of virality. Let's bring in TikTok.
We gotta reel it in.
And, TikTok, they're giving 80% of the ownership to the United States, which is fine, I guess. They are the main shareholder will be Larry Ellison and Oracle, which is like not a good guy.
Yeah, he's like a vampire.
He gives millions of dollars to the IDF to train them. He is the one that was running Project Stargate, which is this $500 billion AI-driven mRNA factory and machine that they're going to turn on.
He's trying to bring in the Antichrist.
He literally said that if my systems have been online, I could have stopped crime. He's literally talking about perpetuating pre-crime.
Yep, Minority Report.
He is not shy about that idea.
No.
At all.
No. Actually, we've been clipped within supercuts of us with talking against him and things like this.
And he is the one that's now going to be in charge of TikTok.
Yes. Well played. You now have the power.
And the United States government will get federal oversight over how TikTok runs.
It's just a new Ministry of Truth, Matt. That's all.
And they are going to separate TikTok USA from the rest of the TikTok globe. Meaning that the TikTok USA will have its own algorithm, own data set, own user base.
Own echo chamber.
Isn't that exactly what China does?
Yeah.
They block out the outside world, and the government interferes into the ideas of the population and make sure that they control what you can see, what you can think about, what you hear, what you watch. The United States is doing the same exact thing with TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. They want you to be in confined walls. So you don't want to go too far off the reservation, Matt, and learn something. You wouldn't want to do that. China has proven that closing the walls of the digital world have worked exceptionally well, because all of the let's just say, if you remember, all of the protests about COVID and the lockdowns and all of that were quelled quite effectively because they shut down all of the ability of people to post. And anything that was posting about masses of groups of people in China, because they're upset that they welded doors shut so people couldn't leave their homes and they starved to death, they wouldn't want the world to know about that, man. And it was quite successful. I think USA is taking another great playbook from the Chinese handbook of communism. They're doing quite well.
I mean, there's so many parallels of how the United States is currently operating its government versus how China currently has operated for the last 30 years. You're talking about building this great firewall.
Yes.
You're talking about moving all the data and making sure that the data cannot be mixed with the rest of the world. They want to control information flow. You see the expansion of surveillance, Palantir, all these programs. You see the development of social credit score system, which is what we accuse China of having. And the Chinese social credit score in China, people think that what this means is that it's like a number that everyone gets. It's not an actual number.
No.
It's a combination of what you do online, what you say. It's a combination of different data centers having information, different blacklists that are created. Do people in the United States get blacklisted?
Yes.
Can banking debank someone for something that you said,
We've seen it happen.
it's the same. That's exactly what they do there. People think that the Chinese social credit score system is a number that you walk around with on your head like Black Mirror.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a combination of all these industries that are working together to make sure that you can't talk to or work with certain people.
Yeah. And you won't know that you're blacklisted or you're locked out of services.
You have no idea.
You have no idea until you try.
People in China don't even realize it exists.
Until they try to take a flight or take a train, and then they realize they're blocked.
Same thing that happens here.
And
Certain people are blacklisted from flying.
Yes. And this is not insignificant. Do a cursory Google search, and you'll find that there are actually tens of millions of Chinese in China who are unbanked, cannot have access to social services, governmental services, hospital services, or even schools. True story. Tens of millions of Chinese cannot access regular social services. Like, you would be absolutely astounded in America if you couldn't do that. Because in America, you can walk across the border, get a $5,000 debit card from Visa, you can get a free hotel for months, and your kids get access to school and EBT and food stamps. But in China, you get none of that.
And you see the federal consolidation of power. We have the National Guard and ICE rolling around the country, going after not only bad guys, but just American citizens.
And Matt's people. He's mad about that.
And the security justification is that it's for your safety.
For your own good.
For your own good.
Yes.
We're seeing it everywhere. And actually, this is a lot like how China operates.
So are you saying that...
What's different?
Are you saying that Iryna was the final nail in the coffin for the Palantir to say, whoa, we let the leash out too much, Matt. We can't let this go viral on its own. We have to control it. So is that what you're saying? Is that the meta-narrative is Iryna showed the cracks. They said, we need to get on this. All right, two things. Narrative shift. Who can we delete today? Charlie Kirk. Sounds good. Let's do that. Plus, let's get the legal running. Ping them. Let them know we need to start this legal run, and we need to make sure that we get TikTok on our side. Is that what you're saying?
It's not crazy.
Considering everything that has transpired in, let's just say, the last 24 months, unfortunately, everything that you conjure up here is within the realm of reason.
It's not crazy. I mean, the idea literally came in an email, or it could be a Fed trying to shift our narrative elsewhere. It could be.
But here's my bottom dollar. Can I give you my bottom dollar?
Of course.
If the facts are what they say, trans, angry, don't like MAGA, Charlie Kirk, perfect example of the opposite of that. Why would we need to make up anything? Why would we need to have this whole rigmarole? Why do we need to have Kash Patel saying that we caught the guy, but we didn't catch the guy, then we didn't catch the guy, then we go up, we have the evidence, but we actually had to have the evidence. He deleted the evidence, but we have the evidence, and then there's Discord, and then, like, why would you need, and here's text messages, were clearly written by a boomer, like, why all of this if it was simply cut and dry, angry trans man, Christian conservative? What's the deal? Well, what's happening, Matt?
Never let crisis go to waste.
Oh, you've said that before. Never let a crisis go to... You're not wrong.
Never let a crisis go to waste.
What's happening?
Well, the result is that they are doing a full takeover of the youth.
A full takeover of the youth. Tell me what this means.
45,000 new TPUSA chapters that are going to be requested to be started. So they're going to have these indoctrination type of chapters throughout the country.
Wait. So you're saying that TPUSA, Charlie Kirk's nonprofit 501c3,
funded all by Zionists.
I was about to say that. Funded by, let's just say...
all the people that you exactly would expect it to be.
So what you're saying now is now they fully run TPUSA.
I mean, who else is running it?
Okay. And they're in aggressive expansion now.
I saw a clip that said Charlie Kirk, his life goal was to have 20,000 chapters. And they were at like 12,000.
So you're saying that thanks to the Zionist money now, Charlie Kirk's vision is going to be exacted.
There's 54,000 requests for new chapters.
So he's going to do it.
He's going to crush it.
So are you saying Christian Zionism is going to grow exponentially?
Exponentially. Because they're the ones funding it. Did you not see Ben Shapiro and those guys running the show yesterday?
I know it was the Jew show. I saw the picture. I was like, there's a lot of Jews hanging out. So
on what we were told was like a Christian network.
Well, Matt, now you're insinuating some insidious ideas. And the insidious ideas is that, well, let me ask you this then. If TPUSA was funded by Zionist money to grow Christian Zionism and support for Israel all over the world, why would you take out the head man?
Because he was starting to question. He really thought he was in charge.
You said
and
that
again, I don't think...
Well,
it depends on which theory we're going with.
You don't take out the golden calf that's going to give you milk money to grow the Zionist project. You're not going to take out the golden calf.
If
Matt, that doesn't make any sense.
His life goal was 20,000. After this event, they are talking about 54,000 new.
Plus the 12.
Plus the 12.
So 60 plus.
It took one event to triple the life goal. What was actually more efficient? You could either fund him for the rest of your life, hoping he achieves a fraction of what he promised to do or wants to do, and a life goal is like your reach goal, your stretch goal, or you can fulfill your goal instantly.
Matt, what are you insinuating?
I'm just saying people benefit.
You know, we have to try, there was an episode we did that we didn't publish. But in that episode, I said this. The two things we need to look at is the money trail and who benefits. So let me ask you again, Matt, in this episode that we're going to post, what's the money trail look like in your estimation and who benefits?
The people who want to take control of the minds of the youth, they benefit the most because their organization is larger than ever before. They are motivated. They are mobilized. They are going to take full control of TikTok and the algorithm. They sent 250 legislators, 5 from each state,
to Israel,
to kiss the wall. You have Trump and Pam Bondi talking about going after hate speech,
which is the exact thing that Charlie said that doesn't exist. By the way, I actually saw that clip.
No one wants to talk about like what actually Charlie cared about or talked about or cared about. And what people want to care about is theorizing in order to get more clicks, more views, in order to make sure. And they're testing. They're testing how well their system works after the chaos.
You're saying everybody's cashing in.
Everyone's cashing in.
You're saying
everybody.
You're saying everybody has such a blackened soul. They're all cashing in on this effigy of Charlie Kirk. Is that what you're saying?
It's supposed to be this Christian movement, but yet who's talking about Christ versus who's talking about Charlie Kirk?
Damn, bro. When I was in college back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Damn, old man.
I used to go to Campus Crusade, CCC, Campus Crusade for Christ. I used to go to CCF, Christian Campus Fellowship, and these types of things. Like, just because, you do the thing and you hang out and there's some pretty yojas. You make me wonder if those organizations are still around, if they're still doing well. I don't know. Why do I bring this up? Well, TPUSA is a college campus specific, like,
youth.
breeding ground, right? It's for propagandizing the youth in college campuses to bring them into the fold and have them grow inside the colleges outward. So what you're saying now, and this is really gross for me to think of it this way, is that we already have a university and college system that has been completely captured by the leftist ideology. The vast majority of university professors are completely angry with life because they didn't achieve anything, and so they have to propagandize all these students on communism and fascism and all the things that they don't like because they end up being sore losers. So what you're saying is that the administration, with all their DEI nonsense, with all of the professors that have been completely captured by leftist ideology, we now have a right side on colleges that have now been completely captured by Zionist interests as well. So you're saying that universities are now fully co-opted into Zionist propaganda.
I think the whole idea of university and this whole idea of meritocracy is actually it's bullshit. I think it's the greatest lie ever told.
Is it failing? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, meritocracy actually doesn't exist.
I mean, it's kind of who you know, isn't it? The stupidest people you know are some of the most successful.
Even in colleges, even in your job, even in government, it's not about who's the most competent. It's not about who's the most qualified. It's majority who you know.
If you look at a government, I don't think there's anyone that's qualified.
And then they
know.
lie to you and they say, no, meritocracy. We got to go back to meritocracy. We've never had a meritocracy.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But they tell you to believe in meritocracy because it's the easiest way to keep a population controlled. If you work hard, maybe you do something. If you didn't work hard enough, it was your fault because you didn't work hard enough. It's the system that's broken. They're lying to you. And this whole idea of DEI has never been about giving disadvantaged people an advantage.
Yeah.
The whole point of DEI is to create scapegoats. You take someone that doesn't have the network, doesn't have the pedigree, doesn't have the qualifications, you put them in a power of authority or power. So when shit hits the fan, because it always does, for the corporations, for the universities, for everyone,
'Cause they're inept.
they say it's his fault. DEI is a system of formalizing scapegoating. You are putting unqualified people into positions to fail so that when things go bad, they're the ones that take the blame.
I would tentatively agree with you. I think as the outcome, I would agree with you. The outcome is always going to be terrible. Why? Because you put DEI higher in a position, they're not capable, period, full stop. So it's going to fail. I think it's a money issue. I think it's a money grab. You put people in DEI positions, what do you have to do? You have to open up DEI provisions and money and grants, right? So that we could. So it's. I think the bigger issue is how can I, as a Zionist project believer, how can I force this type of programming into a system so that I can inflate it with money so that I can have them do my bidding? Because if I hire you through DEI, you're only gonna scratch my back. You're only going to say the things that I want you to say because you're inept and you're retarded and you can't actually do yet that position. And so I think the outcome of DEI is exactly what you say. Ineptitude, complete failure in the role, functional disillusion of the ability of that area, that function of the job to be done well, and it's clearly a scapegoat. I think, though, it's the deeper level is how can we inject money in here so that we can start sucking from the teat of those grants. I think that's the bigger issue.
I don't think the money in DI is that large. I think it's more to save face.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
All these schools in Georgia that are private now have directors of DEI that cost $115,000, $120,000, $135,000 a
When
year.
the school system fails and when they're poor at their job, they say at the end, someone else comes in, the next guy comes in, oh, it was not the system. It was not the fact that we don't actually care about children. It's not that. It's because of DEI.
But we
just blame them.
But now we have to siphon off $200,000 a year for this DEI role.
But if you fix it, does it get better?
It will never get better. The role should never existed.
Because throughout history, the education system and the indoctrination of children gets worse and worse and worse, regardless of DEI or not. But when things go bad and people notice,
you need a scapegoat.
The machine says, "Oh, it was DEI." It's not DEI. Your system sucks. You're perpetuating this idea of meritocracy. You're teaching people that if they memorize and follow the rules, life will get better. It's a poor premise to begin with.
Yeah.
But that's what they're teaching. It doesn't matter if the teacher was trans or conservative. That's poor things to teach.
Not wrong.
So the DEI actually didn't make the system worse. DEI didn't make children worse. The system did. But you blame the DEI.
Fair enough. But
when Target has a big down and they lose stock value,
they need to blame it on something.
They're like, oh, someone else comes in, it was DEI. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, no, like you actually were running a shit business.
Yeah, you
overspent, you bought bad product, you had too much inventory. That's what happened. But you can't blame that. Let's let the country just blame DEI.
And the fact that your business was so stupid that you allowed DEI to creep in, then you put money towards it, and then you made your business worse. Yes.
It was a collection of bad decisions, but you blame something, that actually wasn't the driving factor behind the failure.
So would you say that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are DEI hires?
Yes. Because they're set up to fail.
Because Kash is looking like a clown.
He's
looking like a clown.
He was set up to fail. He was put in a position. They knew that whoever becomes director of the FBI, they were not going to release the Epstein files.
They weren't going to give him shit.
They were not going to give him the support that he needs. They knew that they were not going to do this deep state purge that they all promised. Then who do we put out there? You can't do one of our guys, actually. Because if we did, then it would reflect poorly on us. Let's put someone out there that the rest of the country will eventually say, oh, that's what happens when you do a DI hire.
Well, at least the 26-year-old Poontang is pretty good for Kash.
So I think it's the takeover. The United States is moving over to a Chinese model on how they operate the country, how they handle technology. We're seeing the takeover of the youth. We're seeing the scapegoating of all the people around them.
So, you started this podcast with the youth of the nation, right, being taken over. Is this the new chapter that's being unveiled to us in 2025, Matt? Is that I just got it. We have seen the rise of the youth in the Nick Fuentes. People are the youth are getting, let's just use the word radicalized. They're waking up. They're realizing the system, just like you were talking about, has failed them. They don't have jobs after college. They don't have hope after school. They don't have prospects to figure out. They don't have a future to care about. They're getting radicalized. They're connecting to the Nick Fuentes. They're seeing the crime statistics being exacted in real time. They're seeing clearly black on white crime. They're getting upset. They're getting maybe even mobilized. And what you're saying is the Matrix, the Palantir saying, whoa, ha, ha, ha. Man, this whole Iryna thing is a fire starter. It's like a powder keg waiting to blow up. And certain areas of this very strong species of white man are coming together. We need to corral the youth of the nation under our banner so that we can move the movement to where we want it to be. Because if we do not move the movement to where we want it to be, they're going to end up a bunch of Nick Fuentes. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, they're doing a congressional hearing, and they're bringing in Discord, they're bringing in Twitch, they're bringing in all the platforms that the youth use.
Yes.
They're like, oh, the radicalization of the youth, so therefore we have to bring them in. So they're going to co-opt those guys, which they already are, but they're going to co-opt them further.
Yeah.
They're going after TikTok. They're going after all the young people. Because the young people are the most dangerous. We've talked about this before. Young people are the ones that start revolutions.
Yes.
Young people are the ones that come up with the greatest, biggest ideas.
Yes. And they don't have families, so they have less to lose.
And they're taking them. I don't think it's a left-right thing. I think it's the people in charge are trying to make sure that they have full control and ownership of the next generation. And they thought that it was happening. It was not. They're starting to see the uprising all over the country. All over the world.
Yeah.
They're seeing the youth going, hey, something's not right here.
Yeah, something stinks, Sar.
And it's interesting because the youth understand the technology the best, and they're the ones that understand the technology the best are like, hey, this isn't supposed to be like this.
Yeah, something's
And
happening.
the older generation and the boomers, they're like, oh, yeah, technology. AI is going to make our life better.
Yeah, it's kind of working for me. I now have this AI assistant that makes my emails so nice.
Yeah, I can generate text messages.
Do you remember back in 1996 we had Clippy? Now we have this ChatGPT thing. Yeah, I understand.
And the youngest generation are going, something's not right. Because they're more aware. And we can constantly belittle them. Gen Z is lost. They don't know what they're doing. Gen Y is lost. They don't know what they're doing. These guys don't have a clue. But yet, they're the only ones that are really noticing. Isn't that interesting? We say that they don't know anything, that they're lost, but yet, somehow, they're figuring it out first.
So, can we give them a little bit more credit then?
I think we have to give them a lot more credit.
Okay. So, you're saying that the powers that be want to control the youth. Duh.
course.
Makes sense. If we give them a little bit more credit, do you think the youth are too savvy to allow the Matrix to put the veil over their eyes?
I think that they are innovative. I think that they will adjust because they understand it better. They understand how to share information better than the technology companies and the billionaires and the tech geniuses do.
Let me ask you this. With Iryna's death and Charlie Kirk's death, has the world changed?
Yeah.
How?
I think we're normalizing the idea of giving up control. We are normalizing the idea that it's okay that the government fully controls, and I don't even know if it's government, deep state, establishment, elite, whoever. We are letting them have control willingly, and we are walking in their perceived way of life. And I think you see it throughout the world of people actually fighting back. I think you see it in the fall of governments everywhere. France, Germany, Nepal. You see the fight
I saw that in the news.
Indonesia. Like, people are pissed off.
Yeah, enough's enough.
Vietnam. People are pissed off.
Yeah, I saw that too.
UK. People are pissed off. All throughout Europe, people throughout the United States. And it's always the youngest generation. In every single one of those situations, it's the youngest generation that's leading the charge. And why in America do we discredit them when we see everywhere that the proof says, that the stats say, that the evidence shows that they're the ones leading the charge? And of the conservatives within America, the youngest under 30 are the ones that notice the most. It's not the older generation. The older generation is like,
Yeah, it's working for me.
yeah, let's give all our money to Israel. They're fine with that,
Don't
actually.
change anything. It's working for me, bro.
They don't want radical change.
Of course they don't. It's working
They
for
say
them.
they want change, but they don't want change to enough where it will inconvenience their lives. The young people, they don't care if it inconveniences
The
their lives.
only thing a boomer can do, and I know this sounds really negative, but I feel like I have enough evidence of this. The only thing a boomer can do is go to a fucking protest with a sign. Like, that proves to me, without a shadow of a doubt, you go to a protest with a sign, the system's working for you, boomer. Because you have time to go to a fucking protest and be like, let the illegals in.
And they will bring a lawn chair, a cooler,
Yeah.
a couple of Bud Lights.
Clearly, Ninja,
You know what I
the
mean?
system is working
Maybe
for
even
you.
a grill.
The hypocrisy, like, there are people that I could name that I want to name publicly, but I'm not going to name because I know them, and it's fucking shameful that they go to these protests. I'm ashamed of you when I see pictures of you going to protests. Get a life. Go do something with your life. If I see people go to protests with these signs that, like, let in illegals, it's like, brother, Ninja, please stop it. You just look stupid. Anyway, so maybe it's not all doom and gloom, Matt. Maybe the youth of the nation are more savvy, more prickly, more aware, and more awake than we might imagine. And as much as we might belittle or talk down to them or not give them enough credit, maybe, just maybe, Matt, the youth of the nation are the actual salvation.
I mean, I think they've always been. There's people on the right that will say, no, we have to get the youth and we have to change the way that they think, then their ideology. That has been wrong forever. You cannot change how the youth think.
They're going to do how
Every
they're gonna
parent knows that.
do. Not wrong.
You can't force your kid to think like you, especially after a certain age.
Not wrong.
If anything, they will fight you more. We all know this to be true. Every parent knows this to be
I have
true.
teenagers. Bro, I'm going through this right now. I don't want to give you specifics. But
Yeah.
trust me, everything I say, the answer is no. Oh, you know better. Okay, sure, teenager.
Until a certain age, you can guide them, you can mold them, you can propagandize them best you can. But at a certain point, they are who they are.
Yes.
And all you can do is protect them, save them, watch them, be there for them.
So what you're really saying is we need more Nick Fuentes out there helping wake up the youth, is what you're saying.
I think you just need people in general, like encouraging the youth to do, and maybe they have crazy ideas. They do.
Do you think we're helping the youth?
I don't know how many young people we have listening to us.
Are we just serving the old fogies? All you old fucks out there? Man, figure it out. Should we be changing our narrative to the youth? Should we be more Charlie Kirkish?
I think that there is this conservative movement to normalize the idea of how China operates. You see it because you'll see, like, iShowSpeed is in China.
Yeah.
And he's like, look how great this country is.
Yes.
Look how amazing it is.
Yes.
And really, in people's minds, they're going, well,
But the
if
man on the
those
TV.
rules, and that's the way that the system works, And because of that,
maybe it's not so bad.
you get a good country. Maybe because kids, they just want change.
Yeah.
They don't like the way things are, and they just want things to be better. They don't know what that means yet.
Yeah.
But they want change.
Sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side.
So now you have people that are fighting for the ideas and eyes of the youth and telling them that, hey, the Chinese way is better.
You said something on our podcast that we're not going to release that was eye-opening to me, and I'll bring it back here. You said, and we talked about this for a good while on that podcast, is for days we could not get away from exploding blood flying out of necks. This is the Matrix forcing itself upon you. You and I had no decision. We talked about this a lot because I have teenagers who saw it. I wanted to control that. I did not want my teenagers to see that outside of my parental guidance, my parental control, with context, right? All these teenagers do at the school is show each other, dude, you see this guy get shot in the neck? It's like, yeah, without context, that's a horrific thing, right? And so let me finish my statement, then you can come in. That is what you're talking about. The normalization of a government overlord saying, this is what you're going to see. You have no choice. You have to see this. This is what you have to think about. This is what you have to talk about. We saw that exacted with Charlie Kirk. Unfortunately, you could not turn on any social media, whether it's TikTok, X, YouTube, or even LinkedIn. They were talking about it. You wouldn't see the video on LinkedIn. You didn't have a choice. The Matrix demanded that you consume and gobble up and you digest that imagery. And Lord, they did a good job, didn't they?
I think it's a really interesting dichotomy because you have the Iryna video, which they didn't actually want you to see.
They suppressed it, but they couldn't control it.
So that is the organic sharing of murder.
Yeah, the organic sharing of murder. I can't believe I just heard that. Wow, fascinating. Yes.
And then you have the Charlie Kirk shooting,
manufactured,
which was the manufactured sharing and viewing and algorithmic control to make sure you see that one. And that was coordinated.
That's it. It's organic murder versus manufactured murder.
They don't want you to see the narrative that they don't control.
That's it.
But they want you. They require to watch you and make you watch the one that they want you to shift to.
Yes. That's it. They don't actually care that it's a heinous act of murder, which both are like, you could categorize both in the same category, like S tier. This is terrible to watch on video. Like back in 1999, you had to go to Faces of Death website to see this shit. I just gave you the website. Don't go there, but it's still around. Faces of Death. Like my
Don't go there, but I'll say it again.
Facesofdeath.com.
Don't go there.
I had to get a password access to that back in the mid-90s if I wanted to see heinous acts of murder. But now, it's free. It's free, man.
They want you to watch the one they want you to watch.
When you say it like that, that is insidious. It's horrible. That the entire world, my teenagers included, we're all forced to watch that.
The first video encourages an uprising of the people. The second video makes it political.
And controllable. And now we have 60,000 new, let's just say, sleeper cells that are going to be shilling Zionist propaganda. Well played, sir. BB, 5D chess.
But then why is... Okay.
Remember, BB came out and said that Charlie was the biggest supporter of Zionism on the face of the planet.
Why are they allowing the Tuckers, the Candace of the world to go around and be like, oh, no, actually, Charlie was going up against Israel?
The narrative seems to be that he was questioning our allegiance to Israel, yes.
Why do they want us to know that?
It doesn't seem like it helps the cause, does it?
It's interesting, isn't it?
Well, we've talked about this before, and I feel like this is my easy scapegoat. But the answer is when chaos reigns, you don't care what the chaos is. You just want chaos.
Or is it just a blow-off valve?
Maybe it's a blow-off valve.
Because there is this pent-up anger and suspicion of a certain thing, if no one says it,
Well, in our podcast that we didn't release and we're not going to release, you said some very poignant points, which I'm going to bring up now again. You said this on our last podcast. Evil doesn't want to win. What did you say? Evil just wants good to participate in evil.
evil doesn't want to defeat good. Evil wants good to also be evil.
Yeah. And what we see with the sharing of all of this murder is the good guys sharing the evil all over the place.
I want to go back to like
1999. That was a good year. 1999 was a great year, Matt. Great idea.
I want to go back to like talk about fun things. Don't you?
In 1999, we had what was it? Macarena came out. we had Britney Spears, who actually was kind of cute, right? We were wondering whether Britney Spears was better than the other girl, whatever her name is,
Christina Aguilera.
Genie in a bottle, Christina Aguilera.
It's when the internet was more organic.
We had Fast and the Furious coming out. Man, everyone wanted to drive Evos and RX-7s and Supras. Those were good times.
Internet was less controlled, more organic, larger.
Yeah.
The internet was the whole world. You could go on a chat and you may be talking to someone in
ASL.
California, or you could be talking to someone in Malaysia.
ASL, baby.
You had no idea. You just went out there and you started talking to people. The internet was open.
Free.
It was free. And now you see the countries. China has their own version of the internet. European Union has their own version of the internet
Super
with their
censored.
digital rights
You can't
Act.
even download prawn there.
You have the United States creating their own version of the internet. Russia has their own version of the internet. North Korea has its own version of the internet.
Yeah.
India has its own version of the internet.
I wonder what Indian internet's like. Do you think they just have a lot of poo?
India's not allowed to be on TikTok.
Do they just have videos of people eating with their hands and squatting, kimchi squats, pooping on sand? Is that what do they watch other than
You should go.
Superman Bollywood? I've lived in India. I just don't know what their social media apparatus
You
looks
just
like.
gotta go again. You have to go to the modern India and let me know.
Man, do they just watch Bollywood videos where Indian guys are flying over flipped cars like 19,000 times? Like, what is Indian social media like? I wonder if they're just looking at blonde girls.
I think they just watch a lot of cricket.
Is that right?
Yeah, the cricket athletes online have the biggest followings in the world.
We have some
They're actually the most highly paid athletes in the world.
Not
cricket
wrong.
Players.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
And we have some, let's just say, sophisticated SARs in our community who don't take offense when we talk about.
Love them. Love those guys.
we
We,
love
don't
this-
hate all Indians. We like the Indians that watch us.
Actually,
We like you guys.
we just hate everybody equally, is what Matt's saying. We just hate everybody equally. Well, I don't think we're overly negative. I think we might not have a huge youth following, but if you're the youth, we're older folks and we're still questioning the narrative. Nothing seems to be as it seems, Matt. And my bottom dollar with this whole Charlie Kirk thing, it seems like it's manufactured more than we'd like. And that makes me question a lot of the deeper motives behind TPUSA. That's all I'll say.
I don't like the shift in the timeline that we went through. We were on what I felt was a really odd, uncomfortably dystopian timeline.
But it was like familiar. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you choose the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
It was like a slow drip.
Yeah.
Maybe that's worse. Who knows? But we were like slow drip dying. And now we have this huge shift and it feels really abrupt.
Oh yeah, it was a violent shift.
And I don't like the abruptness of it. It makes me uncomfortable because you have to think, okay, is that abrupt shift orchestrated or is it organic? There's so much unknown, and the unknown is actually really uncomfortable.
I had a moment, and I'll end with this because you brought up this. I felt for years ridiculously uncomfortable about 9/11 because it shifted the entire global narrative. We were galvanized. People were hanging out with people that they would never hang out with because America, right? People were helping each other in ways that they've never helped before because America. Like behaviors were changed, mental models were changed, philosophies were changed, worldviews were changed. We had the highest rate of enlisting to the military right after 9/11 because all these men were like, well, shit, we need to go kill Afghanis, in caves. But I felt really shitty for years after that when the cracks began to show. When we saw the dancing Israelis, when we saw building number 7, when we saw that we had pretty daggone sure is an inside job. And I'm feeling the same uncomfort a little bit here now because in 9/11, we found out that we were duped.
Well, it's still early. We'll eventually find out.
I didn't say that we're getting duped by Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying I feel a little bit more awake now with my shift because I don't know if we're being duped. In 9/11, we know we were duped. In Charlie Kirk and this narrative shift, I mean, like I said, I now have friends. I'm sure many more people that I don't know that are friends of mine or colleagues of mine have now probably gotten more guns, are now changing their behavior because of this Iryna thing and this Charlie Kirk thing. So I'm not doing anything, but I'm telling you, I'm not going to get duped.
It feels a lot like COVID. It really does.
Were we duped?
We were all duped. The whole country, the whole world,
The whole
was
world
duped.
was duped.
And, we had the beheading in Texas.
I know.
We had the lynching in Mississippi. We had the Iryna stabbed on public transportation. None of it actually matters. Nobody cares. The only thing we want to talk about is the narrative that they want us to think about.
So I feel like we need to shift right now to the final segment of this Matt Kim podcast. We're now going to talk about Teletubbies. They're so cute when they bounce up and down.
We will talk about that next week. See you guys next week.